Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP, and I'm also going to talk about why it's so important to be holding XRP when CBDCs come out. So let's take a look. Thank you, PayPal, for explaining to everyone how the central bank digital currency and social credit system will work in the future. And the thing is, PayPal wanted to remove $2,500 from people's accounts that said things that they didn't like on social media. But it goes much deeper than this. So let's take a look. World Economic Forum partners. Do we need to do a thread on the World Economic Forum hidden agenda, hidden connections? So let's take a look at who's under P. Right there you have it, PayPal. So whose agenda was it really? Was it PayPal's agenda or the World Economic Forum's agenda to remove the $2,500 if they didn't like what you had to say? And again, this is all coming together as we speak. Governments and private sector can use CBDCs to program smart contracts for target policies, welfare payments, UBI, consumption coupons, food stamps. CBDC can be programmed to determine what people can and cannot own. Now, we know that last part, but what I want to point out is welfare payments and food stamps. Think about it. If you're rich in the future, maybe you can avoid some of this. It looks like they're trying to enslave the poor. Introducing a CBDC is not a universal solution. It has to come in a package with digital and financial literacy and identity, among other things. For that, public and private sectors have to work together. So if the public and private sector can't work together on this, this cannot happen. Digital identity verification is essential to the operation of CBDCs, particularly in cross-border transactions. Tradable digital assets must be tied to a digital identity system. So a digital identity is essential for the operations of a CBDC. But take notice, they talked about cross-border transactions because that's a very big part also. So, how globalists and governments push digital ID through climate, COVID, cybersecurity, and CBDC. So, let's talk about first COVID. I believe that was a major distraction. But on the other hand, it also showed them who is and who is not willing to listen to the government. Cybersecurity is very big right now. They're talking about Russian cyber attacks due to sanctions on the financial system. So who's to say the World Economic Forum isn't going to bring the cyber attacks? They're the people that want to tear down the existing financial system. And then climate isn't working out very good for them. They got all these countries going green, and what happened? They ended up in an energy crisis. Now they're reverting back to fossil fuels to heat their houses this winter. Why? Because they don't want to freeze to death. So worth remembering the climate-related rhetoric around CBDCs as well. All goods, services given a carbon footprint score, individuals given a monthly max score. Large corps play the system to reduce their scores, killing competition and innovation. Now, this can also play in favor for you if you're rich in the future also. Think about it. You could buy carbon credits to offset your carbon footprint and move on with daily living. But people who are poor can't afford the carbon credits, so they will end up not being able to buy gas. Maybe their food supply is limited, things like that. So again, it looks like they're pushing to enslave the poor. Coming soon, prices of food, fuel, housing, and energy will force millions of people into poverty. The government will attempt to save the country by introducing digital IDs, rationing, and central bank digital currencies via an app. Now, we already know what's going on with food. They're talking about food crisis all the time. Same thing with energy crisis. But housing is very rough right now. People can't afford, these inflation rates, and it's becoming harder and harder for people to stay in their homes. But at some point, the government's going to introduce this new system. They're going to give you a digital ID and a digital wallet, and you'll be fine. Everything will work out, right? I doubt it. So, Biden is set to roll out a cash-free system via a newly reformed central bank digital currency. Executive Order number 14067, signed by Biden, gives the elites the power to create CBDCs, distribute them at will, and steal from you whenever they want. And he did this all with a swipe of a pen. Think about that. And this is coming by December 13th of this year. Don't you understand the mainstream media is lying to you? It doesn't matter which one it is. Fox, CNN, MSNBC. They all lie to create the divide to keep your eyes off what's really happening. I mean, who is covering the CBDC and Biden passing it by executive order? No one is covering it. No one talks about CBDCs, period, in the mainstream news. They talk about everything else that's going on in the world. They'll point out crisis all over the world, but they won't talk about CBDCs. Absolutely idiotic choice, and yet another World Economic Forum puppet, Jeremy Hunt. No experience in Treasury, failed in NHS role, pushed for vaccine mandates, voted for vaccine passports, wanted people removed from their homes if they tested positive for COVID, maneuvered around advice and pushed child COVID vaccinations, admires China's COVID response. Now, when you go to vote, no matter where you live, if you have to look at this, you have to say, okay, is this person I'm voting for, do they have any ties to the World Economic Forum? And if they do, you got to vote against these people. Because if you don't, these people are going to push this agenda right through. It's happening right now throughout the world. France is running out of gas because Macron is a World Economic Forum puppet. This is what's to come. Stop fighting each other. And also, I don't know what time the police will be there. And this is going on because of a gas shortage right now. Think about this. This can actually come to any country in the world very soon. And this is what they're pushing for. They want to collapse everything. Proud to announce we are one of the 30 founding members of the World Economic Forum Crypto Sustainability Coalition. We will be working alongside our partners to explore the potential of Web3 to fight climate change. It's always about climate change. And the thing is, they want to more or less turn off the power with nothing there to replace it at some point. But as they keep pushing this, people are starting to figure out what's going on. I see more and more people outside of crypto saying it's all about the Great Reset because people are starting to notice what is happening around them finally. The Crypto Sustainability Coalition is a public-private initiative hosted by the World Economic Forum and comprised of 30 partners. And they're going to talk about energy usage, Web3's potential for climate action, on-chain carbon credits. When they start talking about the carbon credits, that's when you got to worry because that's going to lead to digital IDs. They want to trace everything that you're doing. They are pushing towards the Great Reset, financial collapse. XRP is the answer. Then it will become the standard. Now, a lot of people want to get away from XRP. They say it's tied to the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset and the New World Order, and it's not for me. But I'm going to tell you the opposite of that. I don't agree with anything that they want to do. I don't even want CBDCs to happen. But I know they're coming, and you know they're coming. So I feel like this. I'm going to invest in XRP, enrich myself, and hopefully when these CBDCs do come, I could go on with life as normal instead of being enslaved by the system. Maybe I could play the system against itself by buying carbon offsets or carbon credits, whatever the case may be. But the other part of this is this, that people outside of crypto, they always want to just go on with day-to-day routines. So they're blind to a lot of this. That's why I talk about it on this channel, because nobody else is really talking about it. The news doesn't talk about it. You hear no mention of it at all. Yet it's going to happen. So if you talk to someone and they don't like crypto, tell them to at least buy gold. Gold is another way to become rich when this happens. You could use gold as a very big bargaining chip, in my opinion. On top of that, you always got to be weary of the people who are leading us into this, because those are the people you want to get out of office as soon as possible. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. We're going to talk more about it in the next one. Have a great night.